Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we look at various cryptocurrencies and we ask ourselves, should we be investing in it? Today we'll be looking at something called Apecoin. Now if you guys do like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing, as well as having a read of that little grey box down the bottom if you are interested in commenting. Cool. So this is interesting, this project. So we're going to be looking at some we will be looking at some token analytics and a few social metrics and trying to cover things which other YouTubers do not cover. Yes, so let's begin with the basics for if you haven't heard of this yet. So Apecoin, they are essentially, so it says Apecoin is a decentralized project inspired by Yuga Labs, board Ape Yacht Club project. Apecoin was founded to be used within the burgeoning ape ecosystem, which is supported by the Ape Foundation. So essentially these guys are trying to make their own kind of Apecoin DAO, and you know, they're going to be doing like, there's going to be gaming, NFTs, and you know, there's going to be the whole entire ecosystem which is going to come underneath this, right? The sort of short version of this is Apecoin is an ERC20 governance and utility token used within the ape ecosystem to empower and incentivize a decentralized community building at the forefront of Web3. So let's have a look at what we can see according to either scan. So it does say DAO and it does say non-fungible token. So remember, this currently is not released yet. That is why we don't have any charts, we don't have any exchanges to look at. We can see various little bits of news here and there. And to be honest, yeah, there's some pretty impressive stuff. So this is probably their main smart contract. So what they're going to do is that they have 1 billion ape available, and then so they're going to be minting all of that upon its release. So it's pretty impressive, to be honest. This could be everything which is already released. Not entirely sure, because that says 157 million, 10 million, 8, and then all the rest are 5s. So not sure if that actually ties up to 1 billion yet. But either way, we should hopefully be able to still purchase from these things here. But I am wondering exactly who these wallets belong to. Because all of them are the exact same amounts. Maybe there's something which we aren't seeing here, but we'll continue moving forward. So having a look at what BSC check says about this. So this is not a honeypot, okay? So according to both Token Sniffer and BSC check, there is no buy or sell fee. And so this is definitely not a honeypot from what we can see. It does say that the holders is 207, and this could just be a part of the, I want to say the early investors. But we will be having a look at some token distribution breakdown as well. Now, according to BSC check, and keep in mind that this report was generated, actually that would probably be around today, to be honest, or by the today from your guys' standards, maybe. So yes, so it says that it cannot read the contract code, the owner part, warning this contract seems to be a non-standard one, cannot read contract owner. However, Token Sniffer says the ownership has been renounced, although the source does not contain an owner contract. My suspicion is that it doesn't contain an owner or it doesn't have an owner. So we can see a creator, but we can't see an owner. And I do believe that Moonarch as well can probably also not read the source code, because if it could, I feel like we would probably have a few more things other than just the standard might mint supply function. So yes, there could be something maybe in the background, but we'll continue looking at that jazz. So it says cannot find LP infos, because I mean there's pretty much not really going to be any liquidity pool for these guys at the moment, but they do talk about a little bit of the token supply, and there is not that much. And it also cannot check the dev wallets, because I don't actually know if they even have any dev wallets. According to the holder analysis, creator wallet contains 0%, and all other holders possess less than 5%, so that's looking good. And it says that there have been other similar token contracts. So these are some of the other similar token contracts which have been done from these guys, from other people in the past. Although when we I had a look according to BSC check. It does say that that is also a non-standard contract as well. I did try to sort of skim through and bounce through the contract sources myself, which when I was having a look through, I didn't see anything which was sort of too suspicious / concerning. I tried to see if there was sort of any extra maybe hidden mint functions, but I couldn't really find anything which kind of aligned with that jazz. But there could be something which maybe I might have missed. So if anybody does know anything about sort of reading contract codes, feel free to write into the comments if there's anything which maybe I have missed. But it's all pretty clean so far. To be honest, we can't really see much where there's a problem. Most of it is pretty clean. So once again, don't have a market cap or liquidity, and it says that 100% has been unlocked according to the max supply. So carpi to these guys. Let's have a look at some other metrics. So according to Social Blade, so these are some of their Twitter stats. So the user was created on February the 2nd, and they currently have 13,000 followers. Now, because the channel is quite fresh / new, we can't really see much more than this right now. So yes, so one thing to bear in mind with this whole entire video is this is very fresh. This is a very, very fresh project. So things can change, things can move. So just because I say these things right now, it doesn't mean that it is always going to be like that. In terms of the actual community, I haven't seen any sort of like spam / bot comments. So when I say spam, I mean I'm talking about where you have to pay for the bot comments. So a lot of these people seem definitely authentic. They are asking real questions. They are saying real things. Like it's just wonderful. So here are some other very interesting things. So their partnerships are confirmed. So one thing which we generally look at when it comes to investing into things is do they have a confirmed partnership? Because like any website can probably go and like list like partners like along the side or down the bottom or what have you, right? Like pretty much any website can possibly do that and make it seem like they've actually got partnerships with these guys, right? But the actual brands themselves, so Animoca Brands has gone and retweeted about it. OKX has retweeted about it. There was another one which was Huobi Global. So Huobi Global is going to be listing this. Inway Play, I've never heard of them before. I think that they may be big. So Coin Market Cap, they talked about the Apecoin listing. Kraken Exchange, I mean, dude, like this is, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Gemini and FTX, like this is gonna be pretty huge, to be honest. And if you watch my other videos, you will notice that I don't talk about projects like that. You will notice that I do not talk about projects in that sort of way. But with this one, I think this is gonna be big. Once again, not financial advice, folks. But yeah, I don't think that I'm gonna invest because, to be honest, there are some other things which like are a little bit concerning. But yeah, we'll continue looking at those things very shortly. So let's have a look at what what Google Trends say. So over the last 90 days, there has been a few searches here and there, but keep in mind this is not the only ape coin. So if you actually type in ape up here, I mean you've got apecoin.dev, ape strong, just ape, ape finance. And if we type in apecoin, Cosmic Apecoin, Asia Pacific Electronic Coin, which is also known as Apecoin. So apparently there are a bunch of like fake or like sort of scammy Apecoin things going around. So I recommend going to their official Twitter, which from what I understand this is their official Twitter. Yeah, even though it doesn't have a tick next to it, it's probably because these guys are very, very fresh. Yes, and this is kind of interesting. It says that they have 74,000 followers, whereas Social Blade said only 13,000 followers. So this sort of gives us an idea of how kind of up to date it is, but it seems like it is moving very fast. In my opinion, it is moving incredibly fast. And then so let's see what we can see over the last 30 days. Because remember, the actual token age is only a month old, so it was done on the 15th of February. So over the last 30 days, in terms of the Google Trends, has had a small kind of pump there, and then so it has had a bunch of searches there as well, so very recently. Let's continue looking as well. So it says Apecoin is available on these exchanges. It doesn't currently show those exchanges, but remember when we actually had a look here, we did see a bunch of those others, including Gemini, FTX, Huobi Global, OKX. Like, I think that this is gonna be heckin' big. So Apecoin is for the Web3 economy. Don't know what they're sort of doing here. One thing which I haven't seen so far when looking through these things. So we do actually have board members. And so we have various people. So we have Alexis, who is the co-founder of Reddit. We have Amy Wu, who is the head of ventures and gaming at FTX. I mean, that's huge. Maria, who is principal at Sound Ventures. Yat, who is co-founder and chairman of Animoca Brands. And we have Dean, who is the president and general counsel at Horizon Labs. So we have known names. In fact, I actually have got various tabs which show us that they have actually gone and retweeted various tweets regarding the actual Apecoin itself. I couldn't find anything from Amy Wu though. I think that was probably the only person who I couldn't find a retweet regarding Apecoin with, but the others, yes. So we have Yat, who is actually who I found out about the Huobi thing, and we also have Dean, which is regarding the Horizon Labs. So yeah, so in terms of all of this jazz, we definitely have got proof. We've got proof of these partnerships. These are legit people. All of that is completely solid. Now, the one thing which I was going to touch on back up here is, even though these guys, I mean, they've probably got like so much money between them that they could like hire like anybody. But one of my thoughts is it would probably be nice for maybe us to have a better idea in terms of what they are actually doing for the Web3 economy. Specifically on their website, if it was possible for maybe us to actually read a little bit more of that. So they do talk a little bit more about the Apecoin here. So they talk about the protocol. They talk about the governance, the unification of spend, the access, and the incentivization. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you guys have a read through that. So you can pause the video here. 3, 2, 1, pause, unpause, great. Yes, so I do sort of wonder who they are actually grabbing on in terms of the people who will be creating the new kind of Web3 systems, the Web3 protocols. So this talks about the allocation. It says the total supply of Apecoin so it's permanently fixed at 1 billion tokens. No minting capability is exposed through the contract interface, thus the total supply will never increase. So they do say the total supply will never increase, but a part of me does feel like there could be the possibility of a hidden mint, but remember, I couldn't find anything on that, but just letting you guys know, okay? Similarly, the contract interface does not expose any token burning capability, so the total supply will never decrease. So that's interesting that they do say that, because when I did actually double check the contract here, I did see a few lines talking about burning. I think it was somewhere here. So if we actually go Control F and we type in burn, function burn address. So burn from 0, account balance, burn amount exceeds balance. That is so hook that is called before any transfer of tokens. This includes minting and burning. So it seems like there are some possible burn functions within this. So although we do see on here that it does say the contract interface does not expose any burning capability. It's interesting how they use the word expose as well. So the total supply will never decrease. So very interesting. In line with standard practice, a portion of the tokens for contributors to the project will be initially locked. Locked tokens will be unlocked over a period of 48 months in accordance with the predetermined unlock schedule in the chart below, starting on launch day March 17th, 2020. Apecoin will be distributed among 4 main groups as detailed in the chart below. Wallet holding tokens allotted sorry guys, to the DAO treasury and resources can be viewed here. And so these are the treasury wallet addresses. Cool. I'm gonna move past that jazz. So here's one thing which is sort of interesting to me. And so they talk about 62% of it is for the ecosystem fund, 16% of it is Yuga Labs plus charity, 14% is launch contributors, and 8% is I don't know how you pronounce that, bayc or bayc. I'm gonna call it bayc founders. No, it's probably more like bayc, to be honest. Bored Ape Yacht Club. So one thing which I found very fascinating is the fact that out of all of these things here, none of these actually specify it being like a part of the general market. So a part of what I'm thinking is that things like Huobi, FTX, Gemini, OKX, all of those guys, what I think that they're probably actually going to end up doing is that will come under the ecosystem fund, which is under the treasury / resources. So I feel like they'll probably maybe create some sort of extra liquidity using that, because we definitely have got the approved information from all these various retweets that actually tell us, yes, this is legit. This is totally what we say it actually is. So I think that's really cool, personally. I think that is very awesome. Yeah, and then so they talk about launch contributors, the company, and people that helped to make this project a reality. So they do talk about all of these various investments and stuff. However, the only thing which I can currently see, and this is probably because maybe they haven't decided to properly launch yet, so maybe the actual owner of the contract is not properly renounced. So just just sort of wrap your mind around that for one moment. Is because we have only got this one smart contract here, and that's only 15%. Now, by the time tomorrow comes around, to be honest, that might look like this whole entire thing is probably going to look different. Yeah, so this whole entire thing is probably going to look different by within maybe the next 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, so although this is what we can see right now, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make an update video. I mean, I might, but it depends if people are actually interested in this sort of jazz. Yeah, could do like an update like a few days from now, or a week, a month, a year. Apecoin claiming for bayc and make holders. So it talks a little bit about if you own the NFT, essentially you get some extra tokens. Car pie, good fun. Ownership of the contract will be transferred to a multi-sig wallet, which will be responsible for these things here. So yeah, in terms of it actually being an official DAO, a part of me which is kind of thinking a bit more deeply about this is how the kind of DAO is going to look for these guys. Because I mean, for launch contributors to be holding 14%, and I mean, they'll probably be split between a whole bunch of different wallets and stuff, but it just it does feel like a lot of the percentage is definitely going to be belonging to some of like the bigger boys like Yuga Labs and bayc. But otherwise, yeah, the companies and people that helped to make this project a reality. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how they've almost kind of like skipped the step of like PancakeSwap or Uniswap. So, well, actually, yeah, because this is an Ether one, so to be Uniswap or SushiSwap, for instance. They've kind of just like skipped the swap and gone straight to the exchanges, which I mean, personally, that adds a whole bunch of trust to the project as well. Yeah, so I think so a bunch of times when I've been making these videos, I have had a little thing at the end where, you know, we can sort of go and fill out this sort of thing here. which is CSI's work in progress, likely inaccurate project checklist. But I think for this project we won't do that because it's not properly released just yet. I don't think it's a really good idea. I think that this thing should probably only really apply to projects which are like either properly released and or maybe like over a month old, even though I did it for another project which was like 17 days old. But yes, I don't, you know what, stuff it, let's do it. Functional and clean media / website, pretty clean. It would be, I don't know, it could be nice to have a bit more information here, but remember this is very fresh, very new. So I'm going to give this website like maybe like a 4, to be honest. Yeah, it's not hugely great. Any threatening big boy holders, that doesn't count, hasn't been properly released. Paid bot comments, I mean, I didn't see any, so those guys get a 10 for that. Is the token coin / distribution fair? We don't know yet. But it could be. I mean, considering 62% could actually be for the extras, for things which we don't know. So I'm gonna select this one as not applicable as well, because even though it kind of does say it over here, it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because we don't know yet. Solid roadmap. I don't know the roadmap, but I did see a few. So I was sort of checking out some of the YouTube competition. And I think that Ape themselves have got this pretty solid looking roadmap. But there is no roadmap for these guys which I can see as of yet. So once again, I'm going to go and tick this as not applicable. So trusted, we have got a bunch of ones which are trusted, so they get a 10 for that. Because yeah, I mean, if you're on FTX, then that's considered trusted in my point of view. Is the team doxed? They're not doxed with LinkedIn's, but they are big names. So we don't know the full team. So I'm going to give them a 9 for that. Now that's usually pretty high for me, but I'm going to give them a 9. So we don't know, we don't have a LinkedIn for these guys from what I have seen. I mean, maybe they may be listed on their Twitter, but I haven't seen any of that sort of thing. And I haven't seen any interviews neither. So in terms of interviews / AMAs, I'm going to give them about a 2-star because we haven't seen any of that jazz. But I mean, that's also kind of typical for like the world of NFTs as well. And any relevant team experience, 100%. These guys have got like, you've got some big names. So yeah, it's going to give them a 10. And any notable partnerships, 100%. So these guys get probably my highest recorded thing of any project which I've done, and they get a 4.5 star. So they get a 55 out of 70. The reason why the numbers had to drop is because I took these 3 as not applicable, because we don't actually have information on this jazz, either because it's too early or we just cannot see it right now. So yeah, so I give them about a 4.5 star, because it's pretty impressive, to be honest, what these guys are actually doing. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that is my video. Thank you so much for joining. Hope that you enjoyed it. Please consider... So yes, if you guys do want to support my journey as well, please join here. Another thing is that if you do want to make any video requests, please consider becoming my advocate. Keep in mind that these prices are in New Zealand dollars, so it goes $5, $10, and $20 per month if you are interested in joining. And once again, please do consider liking and subscribing and having a read through of that grey thing if you do wish to comment. Yeah, and I hope to continue providing you guys with some top qual content. Much love, fare thee well, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and see you next time on the show of CSI.